All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get started, so please make your way down to your seats. I'm Alfred Sanchez. I'm the President and CEO of the Greater Miami Chamber. I have the great pleasure of starting our program off today. Today we have all of our university and college presidents here to talk about the future of higher education. If you have been keeping up with the news, you know that higher ed is facing a lot of headwinds, from state funding to all of a sudden this thing called ChatGPT comes up and now has us thinking about how do we deal with that in teaching our college courses. As a matter of fact, I was with President Pumariega at her office when she said, "Hey, listen, let me show you what this does." We were talking to her, and she said she just gave it a sentence, and it pulled up this treatise of something better that I could have ever thought of. So it's a scary thing. But at the same time that there are these headwinds, there's great opportunity. Miami is now really converting into a real tech hub, and we've got the opportunity to be able to create a workforce that is much more oriented to higher paid jobs than the service industry. So we've got a great deal of opportunity. And the one thing I do know is that we have the college leadership and university leadership to be able to overcome all obstacles. One of the things that the universities and college presidents are asking for is, what is that we need as businessmen and women as the workforce of the future? So one of the things that the Chamber is going to do is to launch a community-wide survey to go to CEOs, to managers, to HR heads, to ask that very same question. What's the workforce today doing, and what is the workforce of tomorrow going to look like for you? And we'll share that report with you all, but also with our presidents here, to help them in informing how to change and develop the curriculum to better meet the needs of the future. Before we start the program, I got a couple of announcements. First of all, our Goals Conference. All of you who are members for a while know how the importance of Goals Conference. It will be June 2nd, right here at our beloved, at the JW Marriott. I'll announce another thing at Jungle Island in a second. It is where we will unveil our goals. We have a tremendous program. We're going to have our state legislators doing a wrap-up of what's going on, and please pay attention to what's going on in Tallahassee. Some landmark legislation is coming out that really favors the business community, and your chamber is championing that up there. But also, we'll have urban air taxi presentation there, and of course the changing of the guard of our board, and the much anticipated video of our chair by Bob Berkowitz. I see Bob back here, so please sign up for that. If you sign up now, between now and April 1st, you get a break, so it's $149. By the way, it's a half-day session that has lunch, and it also has a reception afterwards, a lot of fun. But if you sign up now, it's $149 to save as much as you can. So the other announcement that I want to give you is this. As you know, the Chamber gives out the premier business award to a businessman or woman who has accomplished a great deal in this community. Last year, we gave it to Manny Medina, obviously a very well-deserving person. So today, we're going to announce who the next Sand in My Shoes recipient is. And, drum roll, please. The next recipient is Alberto Ibargüen. I don't have to tell you all what an important person Alberto Ibargüen has been to this community. He came in the mid-'90s, late '90s, to take over what was an insert to the Miami Herald, El Nuevo Herald, made it a standalone paper in and of itself, then took over after Dave Lawrence left as the publisher of both the Herald and El Nuevo Herald, and after that has been leading ever since the Knight Foundation at a very challenging time for the press when so much was going online. But also, he's really been extremely instrumental in investing in this community. The tech that we have today, the tech companies that are enjoying and being able to take root in Miami today, was only made possible because of the investments that the Knight Foundation under his leadership made in establishing that groundwork to be able to seat them here. So please join us. Sand in My Shoes will be October 4th. They will be here at Jungle Island, and it will be a wonderful, wonderful occasion. Please remember, this is a sold-out event, so get your tickets early. All right, now, without further ado, first of all, I want to say happy Passover to everyone, and I want to turn it over to our chair, Roberto Munoz. Roberto.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, here we go. Look at this around. I got to tell you, you look around the room, it's a full house from this point of view. Other than plates making noise and some jingling going on, it's kind of quiet, which is great, and I want to thank you very much. You know, our chamber has taken a great turn. We continue to be leaders in this community. Financially, we're strong. Our Sand in My Shoes of this year with Manny Medina was very, very strong. We continue to push forward on all agenda items, including legislative issues. So our chamber is set for the future, and I'm very happy to see that the board is participating very strongly. So a round of applause to the board members. Round of applause, please, to all the board members. And also a round of applause to the staff of the organization, which really does a great job in keeping everybody on a straight and narrow to make sure we achieve our goals, and there are a lot of them. But I'll tell you, we're achieving probably at the 90% range. So since today we have the academic leaders here, I think a 90% range gives us an A in what we're trying to accomplish. So I think we're in the A range of our business activity. So my name is Roberto Munoz. I want to thank you very much for coming today. I am the chair of the Greater Miami Chamber of Commerce. We just finished our board meeting. So we've been in the other room discussing our activities, both past and future. And I can tell you it's bright and fantastic. Again, good afternoon, and thank you, Alfred, for bringing me up to the podium. Welcome to the Chamber's April Trustee Luncheon. For those of you that might not know, the Chamber Chair hosts the monthly board meeting prior to the luncheon, starting at 10 o'clock in the morning. So it's always double duty for the Chair at our monthly Trustee Luncheon. Hopefully many of you in the audience become board members in the near future. And if you are not a member of the Chamber, I recommend that you become one right away. Now, I'd like to take a moment to recognize some special guests that we have with us in the audience today. I saw Christine Barney. Did I see Christine Barney by chance? I was passing by, maybe not. But Rick Beasley, Rick, I know you're here. Thank you for all you do. Bruce Cullen, I saw you, spoke to you. Bruce, how are you? Thank you for being here today. Barry Johnson, not sure if I saw Barry, but is Barry usually, Barry's here a lot of the time. Jack Lowell, not sure if I saw Jack, but nonetheless, thank you for being here. Elected officials, I saw Vicky Lopez in the air. Vicky, thank you. You're carrying a very strong agenda for your first year, and I think you're being very successful in what you're doing. So thank you for that. Also from our Counselor Corps, our international guests, Thomas Abreu, who is also a very strong member of the organization. Thank you very much. He's a general counsel of Monaco. I also want to welcome Aniko Kubitov, trade attaché from Hungary. Many of you might know that Hungary is a great partner. Nabil Akar, he's a secretary of the Counselor Corps. Nabil, thank you for all you do to make sure that we have the #2 Counselor Corps and well-organized Counselor Corps in the United States. That doesn't come at an easy price, and you put a lot out to make sure that we're well-organized. So thank you. Georgette Pepper, Consulate of Canada, is here today as well, and so welcome here. With us for the first time, I'd like to also please join me in welcoming 5 new trustee-level members. As I call the name of your company, please stand and remain standing. Once, Inc., represented by Christine Quinantal, Director of Global Operations, and Monica Fesser, Marketing Campaign Manager for the Americas. Are you here? Oh, there you are. Good. You're standing up nice and firm over there. Once, by the way, spelled one with a one, and then NCE, Once, works hard to change the Internet of everything, of the everything industry, so their customers can change the world once. Is the only provider of connective hardware and software for the Internet of Everything at the global lifetime flat rate, offering reliable cellular services in over 150 countries. It's a fantastic company. Thank you very much. Thank you for being members. Make-A-Wish of Southern Florida, represented by my very good friend Mary Holt, Director of Mission Resources, and Jessica Rivera Jr., Community Development Coordinator. And I know you have one more member whose name is not here, but welcome on board. I'm sorry, but that's okay. I see you, and that's what matters. Make-A-Wish, as we all know, does such a great job. Make-A-Wish Southern Florida has a sole mission to create life-changing wishes for children with critical illnesses. Since 1983, its chapter has granted more than 13,000 transformative wishes, making a positive impact in the lives of courageous children and families in our local community. Thank you very much. It is such a big deal. Thank you. The Shalmut Design and Construction Company, represented by Directors Dan Paulus and Tim Barges. I'm not sure if I've seen them, but they are there. Look at them over there. Thank you very much, both Dan and Tim. It's a nationally recognized general contractor with South Florida offices located in both Miami and West Palm Beach. Their firm focuses on commercial construction of enterprise-level offices, luxury retail, fine dining, hotels, resorts, sports venues, life sciences, cultural and historic buildings, educational facilities, and more. Thank you very much. Next on is Snowden Lane Partners, represented by partner and managing director Owen Parr, Paula Oden, and Joseph Rieta. I'm not sure if I see you. There you are on that side. Very good. Exclusively focused on wealth advisory. As an independent firm, they are free to offer more personalized attention, more customized solutions, and unbiased advice to their clients. Their Miami office is one of 13 offices around the country, assisting both domestic and international clients, business owners, and foundations with asset management needs. And now, last but not least, Urban Health Partnership, represented by CEO and Executive Director Andres Iglesias. I don't see Andres. Can I see Andres? I'm not sure. Over there, Andres. Thank you. Oh, thank you. It's not Andres, it's Andrea. How are you, Andrea? Very good. Along with Director of Healthy Street and Public Spaces, Jen Cheek. Urban Health Partnership is a leader in community-based health equity initiatives throughout the Southeast Florida, promoting action through partnerships and community empowerment. UHP provides community health by assessing social and physical conditions in public health, transportation, public spaces, food access, and age-friendly efforts. Welcome to the Greater Miami Chamber of Commerce. We're delighted to have you here and look forward to getting better acquainted. You all may sit down now, so thank you. Every month, we recognize member companies celebrating anniversaries with us. Let me call out members celebrating more than 30 years with the Chamber this April. Chairman Circle member, the Allen Morris Company, at 65 years. It's a long time. I didn't call my good friend, by the way, and past chair, who I see as Carlos Fernandez Guzman. How are you, Carlos? Want to make sure I stop for a second and thank you for being here. Trustee Platinum member, Brightline, at 55 years. Trustee members, Media Age, at 54 years, and Miami Association of Realtors, 37 years. It's a lot of years of membership. A round of applause for them. I also want to give a special congratulations to those members who are just completing their first year. We hope you find your first year fruitful and that we'll see you in the future celebrating your 30-plus anniversary. Let me continue on now with sponsor recognition. Let me go on with today's program. I'd like to wrap up my commentary by recognizing our April 23 Trustee Luncheon sponsors who helped to make the Trustee Lunch program possible for all of you. The Chamber Trustee Luncheons are brought to you by our title sponsor, FPL, who I'm proud to say has a long history of supporting the Chamber. Please welcome to the stage Baldwin English, Manager, Miami-Dade External Affairs, for sponsor remarks. Baldwin, are you here? There you are. How are you, brother?
Good to see you.
Always nice to see you.
Yes, you as well. You as well.
All right. Thank you so much. I'll be down. You'll call me back up.
No problem. I love the love. I haven't gotten a hug all day. I appreciate that. My name is Baldwin English, External Affairs Manager for Florida Power and Light here in Miami-Dade County, and it's my pleasure to be with you here today on this really great occasion. And as I look around the room, we're talking about education. I got my degree from my undergrad degree from Florida International University. Yes, yes, yes. I took a class at Miami-Dade one summer, the math class. I took a architecture class in high school at UM, so shout out to UM as well. And I've been to parties at Barry, so cover the gamut there. And at FPL, supporting the community is part of our core values, and we really like to focus on our investments and partnerships in the educational space. We want to help students in Florida get ready for the future, and really the present when it comes to STEM being a great building block for success as future leaders in our community. We have a number of programs and funding opportunities that help grow Florida's workforce and prepare our future leaders for STEM-related jobs. We sponsor energy curriculum, an energy curriculum website, which is geared to 4th through 6th graders. It has English, language, arts, and math, and it provides free and easily accessible lessons in science for those students. We also work closely with our local colleges and universities to ensure that the jobs of the future stay here in Florida. For example, with Florida International University, for more than 3 decades, we have created a space where our campus customer care center is housed. And this is a partnership between FPL and FIU, which provides hands-on development and career opportunities to students by employing them right on campus as part-time customer service representatives. We know that when you learn to listen and help customers find solutions, that's also a valuable life skill that can be beneficial really in any career. We also have partnered with FIU on the FIU FPL microgrid, an independent grid using renewable energy, solar and battery storage, and smart grid technologies that can supply backup power to FIU's Engineering Center for up to 24 hours, depending on need and usage, to serve the university in the event of a severe weather outage. All of these are examples of our commitment to our customers and our educational community, not just for today, but for years to come. So we appreciate the opportunity to serve our communities and make a difference in our community. We again thank you for being here today. Every person, every room, every organization in this room here today is making an impact to strengthen Miami, and I thank you for that. Have a blessed day.
All right, and a shout out to FPL. During COVID, when so many things weren't working out, and I've mentioned it before, you could always depend on FPL to give you electricity to your home. And not only that, but I'll tell you that they produce it at one of the lowest rates in the United States. And so we are blessed to have a very hot area that we live, and yet we're able to go from room to room in an air-conditioned environment or office to office, and it's all provided by FPL. And they are green in what they're trying to do. They have their solar, they have their wind, and they continue to produce energy around the United States and around the world as a great organization and a great contributor to lowering of CO2 emissions. So thank you to FPL. I would like to, again, thank you, Baldwin, and thank you, FPL, for your longstanding support. Now, let me bring to the stage Rick Beasley, Executive Director of CareerSource, South Florida, as an event sponsor, for his remarks while we watch a brief video.
Discover opportunities to set your business above the competition. At CareerSource South Florida, we offer business services that help employers like you succeed. Place a job order to hire the right people, obtain labor market information, work with the Professional Placement Network, learn upcoming events and business programs, including training incentives that offer programs to help you train prospective and current employees, and financial incentives. Your company may be eligible for benefits that can increase revenue and sustain growth in a competitive market. We've made advances in your business and finding the right employees easier than ever. Increase your revenue and sustain your growth in today's market. Visit us today so we can develop customized solutions. Your business will benefit with CareerSource South Florida. CareerSourceSFL.com.
All right. Good afternoon. Now, you all know how I do this. Good afternoon. All right, good. It's a blessing to be here. I want to thank Alfred and the wonderful staff and Roberto and the leadership that we're doing here at the Chamber. I'm excited about today's trustee conversation on the impacts or the state of our educational system. So let me share with you real quick about CareerSource South Florida. We're an agency that provides employment and training solutions to our employer community. I'm excited about what we've done over the last year. We've invested over $40 million into this community. We got placed over about 15,000 folks in jobs. But more importantly, we generated over $360 million of salaries back into this community. And so I'm excited. So when you talk about higher education, our board last year invested $1.4 million of scholarships through our Take Stock in Children initiative through Big Brothers Big Sisters. And so it afforded us, yes, a great round of applause, 275 youth in our community were awarded scholarships to attend institutions of higher learning. That's the impact that CareerSource South Florida does. And I want to say I'm excited about having all our members here from Florida Memorial with Dr. Hardrick, our good friends over at St. Thomas, as well as over at Miami-Dade College. Madeline, good to see you. She just flew back in, yes. Our good friends over at Berry, FIU, and University of Miami. These institutions of higher learning really, truly make an impact. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Miami-Dade County Public Schools, our good friends there, our superintendent, but we have the assistant superintendent, Renee Mantilla, who is over career and technical education. But these are the partnerships that CareerSource works with to be able to develop talent that help the needs of you all across this room. And so with that, we're excited to be a presenting sponsor here. We look forward to working with you. I'm excited about this conversation that we're about to have on the state of higher education. So with that, enjoy your lunch.
Okay, and I'll say that I am a product of public schools. I went to Miami Springs Senior High throughout my school, public school. Went to Miami-Dade Community College, and I also at that time Miami-Dade College now, and FIU. So I've had my public education here, and it's been the best, and going back for a long time. So I thank all for the education opportunity that I had. I would now like to bring up to the stage, let me welcome our very own and very active Myrna Vaca from UHealth for sponsor remarks and a video. Myrna?
Thank you so much. I actually just came up here to make a confession. I do have a confession. After the past few weeks, I am now a season ticket holder for University of Miami basketball, women's and men. So thank you everyone for being here. My name is Myrna Vaca. I'm the Director of Community Relations for the University of Miami Health System and a proud board member of the Chamber. So thank you, Chamber, for everything you do. And we're going to show you a brief video. Thank you so much.
All right, that was a great video. And finally, I'd like to turn your attention to the screens for a brief video from FIU, my alma mater, where I'm also the Hall of Fame alumni. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. I'd like to introduce now the moderator and a dear friend of mine, Michael Lewis. Without further ado, let me invite to the stage the founder, editor-in-chief, and publisher of the Miami Today. Michael Lewis will be moderating today's panel discussion, and who I think will do an excellent job. Michael and his wonderful wife and partner, Carmen Bentecourt, are both dear friends that run this Miami jewel, the Miami Today newspaper. A round of applause for the Miami Today. They do such great work in this community. They have broke so many stories, and they're here providing excellent service to this community every day. Michael, take it away.
It's a pleasure to be with you today in the chamber. I think that this is a rare treat for all of us. I've never seen 6 leaders of our colleges and universities together at one point. It's a great group. Would you come up now, please, while I'm talking, because we're going to lose some time. We're going to lose some. Let's just. To say that the educational preparedness of our future workers is of concern to almost every business member of this chamber would be a vast understatement. As an employer myself, it's an issue I grapple with regularly. I think most of you do too. The kinds of questions I ask myself are our current graduates ready for a changing technology? Are they innovative? Have they had real-world experience before they land on our payrolls? Can they hit the ground running? Are there enough of them out there to fill the jobs that we're going to have available in the next decade? Are there qualified interns available to us today from these universities and colleges? Can we count on graduates with both specialized skills and strong general knowledge beyond their specific areas? Can the current graduates grow in sufficient numbers to fill our future leadership ranks? Will we see our current graduates sitting at these tables in 5, 10, 15 years? And are all these graduates prepared to be not only good citizens, but good citizens in our offices and good citizens in our society? That's very important to us all. Our panel has the answers. I'm standing in the way of them. At their end, there's going to be ample time for you to raise your own concerns and questions. The backgrounds of our panelists are available to you out there. I'm not going to go through them. So in alphabetical order, we have here at the far end, Dr. Mike Allen. Mike is the president of Barry University. Dr. David Armstrong is right here. Dr. Armstrong is the president of St. Thomas. Dr. Elizabeth Behar, provost of Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer of FIU. She's wearing multiple hats. Dr. Julio Frank. Dr. Frank, of course, is the president of the University of Miami. Dr. Jeffus Hardrick, president of Florida Memorial University. And Dr. Madeline Pumariega, president of Miami-Dade College. I mean, what a great group. Please give them just a welcome, if you would, please, to the stage. As I said, I'm in the way, so let me ask them each, and we'll start with Dr. Hardrick, and we're going to go right down the line here. A simple question. Name one program, if you could, that your university or college has introduced recently that is geared to directly answer the employer needs for Miami's workforce of the future. That might speak to some of the things I raised issues about there. Dr. Hardwick, you'd start, and we'll just go right down the roll. One thing, because I know they know all the answers, and we only want one answer from each.
Well, yeah, you're right, but I don't think we have all the answers. But first of all, let me just say it's an honor to be here this afternoon. One particular program that I think I'm really proud of that we launched a couple of years ago in partnership with the Miami Dolphins and Lennar is our constructions trade program. To date, we have graduated just 250, I think it's 250 graduates. It is a program open to members of this community, high school dropouts, or those who graduated from high school, no desire to go to college, or veterans, or women, or individuals who just wanted to reinvent themselves. So this program has been a huge success due to this partnership, and today we still have 500 people on the wait list to get through this program. And it is truly meeting the needs of the construction trade in this community.
That's a wonderful program. Now tell me about the wait list. What do you mean by the wait list?
We have, like I said, about 500 people still trying to get into the program because because we only do 100 per cohort, if you will. And so the demand has been tremendous.
That's a wonderful program. Dr. Armstrong.
Yes, obviously there's all kinds of workforce issues, and I know we're going to get into that issue. And we have over 50 majors. We have a wonderful College of Law at St. Thomas University. But one program that I will mention, especially when we talk about STEM and technology, is we have a data analytics program that is very renowned. And our students, the program actually partners with companies now, while they're students, to solve problems for those companies. And they work directly with FedEx. They've worked with other entities where the companies come in with issues, and then they work on those issues and give them answers. I was at an event up in Boca and met a representative from Lufthansa Airlines, the German airline, and he said to me, he said, we had one of your students in data analytics. He was an intern. Experiential learning is a requirement for graduation at St. Thomas University. It's something that we implemented. It's our SAC-COC QEP, what's called a Quality Enhancement Program. That title of that program is Experience Matters. We want to give our students not only the acumen and the intelligence, but the experience before they walk out the door, so they're ready for you. And I met this gentleman from Lufthansa, a young man who is growing his division, and he said, I only hire STU data analytics students now because I know that they're going to work hard and I know they have the knowledge.
For us at Miami-Dade College, and good afternoon, everyone, is MDC Tech. As you know, the tech ecosystem, not just tech companies. We put together all of our technology companies, launched it under MDC Tech, and created a stackable credential around cybersecurity. You can get your certificate associates into a bachelor's. We have the first in Florida artificial intelligence college credit certificate associates into bachelor's. And then we partnered with Amazon Web Services and created the same pathway for cloud computing. And Amazon Web Services shifted just from an entry-level baccalaureate to associate's level cloud computing specialist. And all of those fit into a data analytics degree. And so that's something we're very proud to meet the needs, not only of the tech ecosystem, but all of our companies that really are having to meet cybersecurity needs, you know, cloud computing, software engineers, and so we're doing our part to make sure that companies feel comfortable coming to Miami, staying, growing, and thriving their businesses in Miami.
Dr. Frank.
Thank you. I want to start by thanking the Chamber for this opportunity. I think it's very important for the universities to have this opportunity to engage with the business leadership of our great city. You know, as a comprehensive research university with an academic health system, as you just saw with UHealth, we have multiple points of contact with the private sector, with the employers, both here and nationally and internationally. But talking about our local, our business school has dozens, literally, of programs that engage with different components of the business community. But since you asked for one, I'm just going to tell you about the newly introduced Bachelor of Science in Innovation, Technology, and Design. It is a 3-year bachelor's degree. We're doing it as a pilot, and it's not that students get 25% less content. It's that it's a completely different pedagogical approach where from day one, they are experiencing immersive stays or internships, mini internships, in the surrounding ecosystem, as Madeline called it, of innovative companies from day one. And the instructional part in the classroom is totally integrated with the experiential piece in companies. We're going to assess it very rigorously. Our hypothesis is that the educational outcomes will be at least equal, and I think they're going to be better than traditional 4-year degrees. If we demonstrate that that's the case, this could really be a very major step forward, because not only would it cut the cost by 25%, the direct cost, but also it cuts the opportunity cost of being in a university rather than joining the workforce 1 year earlier. So it's something I'm very excited. It's a very innovative pedagogical approach, and we will be reporting. We started our first class last fall. We're now with our second class. We're keeping the class small because it is a pilot program. We will try it, we will test it, we will assess it rigorously, and if it is successful, we will scale it up.
Dr. Bailey.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, everyone, or almost good afternoon. It is a pleasure to be here representing FIU and South Florida's anchor public research university. And so we are committed moving innovation to impact. And in that, I'm not going to highlight one program, I'm going to highlight a paradigm shift that the university has achieved, which is through innovative education, student success, academic research initiatives, really aligning under strategic alliances and building strategic alliances with industry in new ways. Highlighted earlier today was our program in partnership with FPL, which runs the gamut from experiential opportunities to micro-credentials and really building skills and credentials for students as they continue a curated pathway towards their professional careers, as well as our recently launched relationship with Kaseya, our partnership with Bank of America, and as well as reimagining career all across tech in our deep partnership with the Knight School, particularly focused on computer science and the tech industry. So we're really excited about the future and how we're reframing, and this lunch conversation is really emblematic of reframing a conversation industry partnered with the academy in deep and innovative ways. So thank you.
Great, thank you. I'll echo what my colleague said. Thank you so much for having us. Good afternoon, everybody. I was delighted to hear earlier that Barry can still be seen as a party school, because that's very good for recruiting. So thank you for that comment. One of the things you heard here is there's a potential theme emerging, which is we all have these very specific partnerships with industry. And while they're specific to our schools and these programs, they can be replicated with your businesses and in your industry. For us at Barry, we tried something very recently with the mortgage lending industry. With the real estate boom here in South Florida, there simply are not enough mortgage bank lenders out there. They came to us, we partnered with the Lennar Foundation, and we created a 15-week certificate program. So it can be accomplished in a matter of weeks and months, not years, and we have work-ready employees for the mortgage banking industry. And as Madeline mentioned, we hope it'll be stackable, and they'll come back and attend our school business and eventually get a 4-year degree. But it's a complete win-win for the students. It's free to the students, and the mortgage bankers have more employees, and they've also really started to address some of their diversity in their hiring, which was a goal of theirs as well. So it's going well so far and just getting off the ground. Thank you.
Put some numbers to that in terms of numbers of students and flow-through of the people in that industry, real numbers?
Sure. We don't have Dr. Hardrick's wait list quite yet, but we're just getting started with this. It might not be quite as popular, but we're moving in that direction. So we started with a cohort of about 20 students. It was a pilot to get it going. I think the key takeaway here is the universities are becoming so much more nimble and flexible in creating these programs. We built this in 3 weeks. We had a meeting, someone had an idea, we came together. 10 years ago, universities weren't ready to move this quickly and this effectively. We're all adjusting and adapting, so take advantage of that. Talk to us about your ideas, and we can really build some things together.
That's really good to hear about that ability to move faster. I think the business community functions that way today, and it's good to hear that educators are doing exactly the same thing. In talking before this panel with several members of it, they encouraged me not to ask every professor, every president, the same exact question. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to break questions down to individuals. And Dr. Armstrong, how does St. Thomas collaborate with the other members of this panel? Today you're here on a panel. I've never seen anything like the 6 of you here today. I think it's wonderful. I think it's great for the business community and for educators. But how does that happen other than today?
So we all belong to the Academic Leaders Council of the Beacon Council. And so we meet on a regular basis. Madeline is our chair right now and does a wonderful job. And I think that we are going to have a big announcement coming up here in the next several months. I happen to come from Northern Kentucky, where I was president of Thomas More University, another Catholic diocesan university. And I was a part of an organization there called the Greater Cincinnati College Consortium, and GC3, and 19 colleges and universities that had strong partnerships as far as classes and transfer credits, and also working together, working with the business community to make sure that we were taking care of our workforce needs. And we've been doing that, and all our people here in the universities and the colleges here have been doing a wonderful job, but we think that a rising tide lifts all boats, and if we can make our bonds stronger, it's only going to help us develop more for you. And so, in the end, that's our ultimate goal, and we are on our way to creating a stronger bond for the benefit of all the business community here in Miami.
Dr. Allen and then Dr. Behar. How do you see the Greater Miami Chamber of Commerce and its members directly linking with your university?
Sure, thank you. We have a perception problem in higher education. 56% of Americans don't believe in the value of higher education right now. And I'll throw one other statistic at you. Approximately 90% of academic leaders think we're doing a great job preparing our students for industries. About 10% of CEOs feel the same way. That's a huge disconnect. And these conversations right here in the leaders of the academic institutions and our faculty and our staffs working with industry, working with the chamber is the way we solve that. Okay, we listen to each other, we understand your needs, we change how we operate, we change how we educate, we change how our students learn so that when they get to you, they're ready to perform. And the only way we can accomplish that is by working together and having these conversations. So please, talk to us, reach out, bring us your ideas and your thoughts, because higher ed is valuable. It has tremendous value. It's exponentially makes every individual's life better who goes through and gets a 4-year degree, but our communities and our country is not seeing it that way right now, and we have to change that perception.
Certainly, I'm just going to build off of what President Allen's comments are, which is that's foundational work, and we need that to continue to occur at the deepest levels. But really, most of our industries, if not all, are experiencing a rate and pace of technological change and impact, be it healthcare, be it finance, be it environment, be it conservation, be it social services, that really these conversations are high-level relationships with the chamber are important. And then as you go back to your businesses and industries, we really need thought leaders on our industry boards, right? Historically, the academy has always kind of had a buffer between industry and the academy. And the 6 of us are sitting here today because we believe that that buffer needs to be eradicated, that we need to have industry professionals engaged at really thinking through curricular issues providing guidance on what's happening in industry in certain levels, and really being thought partners, not just not just networking members for advisory boards, but true thought partners in really how we help to frame the future and their experiences for our students and for our faculty.
Building on what the two of you have said, and that's very important, I want to ask the other four presidents on this panel, starting with Dr. Hardwick and working right down the line, what they would like to have from the university, from the chamber and the business community. We're asking you for things. I'd like to know what you need from business leaders, particularly those in the chamber, but throughout this community. Dr. Hardwick.
I think that's a very good question. And I think for us, one of the things that we are doing, as you hear among all of our institutions, is that we're having to learn to be much more mobile and adaptive, right? As well as innovative in order to be able to keep up with industry and the rapid changes. And so I think many a times when we bring you in and invite you in to come talk to our students, internship opportunities to serve on our boards and to pour back into our students really is going to be instrumental in terms of exposing our students. And so I would just love to make sure we have opportunities where they can come partner with you, do internships in your organizations, as well as you coming to speak to our students.
What would the chamber do, Dr. Hardwick, before we go on? What could the chamber do to make sure that you get those connections, those linkages? If Alfred, for example, okay, doing it right now. Okay, we've got it. This kind of panel, terrific.
Yes.
But any I'm taking notes. Okay, good. I'm glad people understand that you have to take notes when you get these educators up in front of you, because there's going to be an exam, and the exam is in the business world, folks.
I'll be very direct with this. So I've been in higher education for over 35 years, and I go to all kinds of events like this. I've worked at 5 colleges. I've been a president at 2 of them. And when I go to these events and we talk to employers and we hear people come up on stage and they say there's this workforce development gap. And I would go up to that speaker afterwards and say, tell me what you need. Tell me what kind of worker you need. Tell me what the education you need is. I will start that program tomorrow. But I need you to partner with me. At minimum, give me internship opportunities for our students because of our experiential learning requirement. Investment would be even better because what we're going to do is we're going to bring you employees. And so what the chamber can do is what they're doing today, is giving us the opportunity to talk to you, number one, get to meet you, number two, and so it's smaller events where we can talk more intimately. And we want to serve you. All the people on this dais here want to serve you and provide you with phenomenal employees. And let's just say it, COVID has killed everything. It's killed hard work, it's killed customer service, it's killed all these things. We have wonderful students at our places, and they're willing to work hard. There's no such thing as soft skills. There's only essential skills. Okay, critical thinking, analytical thinking, showing up at work on time. Okay, we're all producing those types of students, and it's got to be about partnerships. This suit, House of Suits, Coral Gables, they gave it to me. We had a fashion show. We have a new fashion merchandising program.
You're looking good, President. You're looking good.
It's my Easter colors. And if they can make a husky, ugly guy from Cleveland, Ohio look good, think of what they can do with all these beautiful people in Miami. And we have culinary and fashion. We had a big fashion show. House of Suits gave 15 suits to our students who were the models. Unbelievable. That's how you do it. You create those partnerships.
So, Michael, I would say, I'll give some good examples. For example, the nursing shortage. We know post-COVID we were having a great challenge. We hosted a roundtable. Then Senator Diaz, now Commissioner of Education, came. We sat with the presidents of each of the hospitals, and we grew our nursing program by 40%. we grew it with them. They gave additional clinical slots, scholarships. We expanded simulation, and today we're producing 40% more nurses for our community because we know they stay right here and work. Whether it's Baptist or Jackson or Nicholas Children, HCA partnership. The second example of that, through Career Source and Rick Beasley, we had a partnership with Tesla for automotive technicians. Being Automotive and Warren Henry came to the college and said, you know what, we see your Tesla program. We want that apprenticeship model program for us. And we curated a program at Bean Automotive and at Warren Henry where now they have automotive technicians. And then I think the last one is the school district. You heard a lot about the teacher shortage, so we sat down and we said, okay, how do we help? Superintendent Doltris and I and our teams got together along with our provost and their chief academic officer, and what we found is the last semester of the teacher prep program, we expect students to leave their full-time jobs, go into a classroom as a volunteer for those hours. And we created a residency program. Now students will leave our program, do the last semester in a classroom, paid, mentored by a veteran teacher at Miami-Dade County Public Schools. Those are a few examples. As President Allen said and President Armstrong, if you have a need, I think that all of us are willing to tailor-make programs that can address those needs. The reality is, while we're the largest, I always tell our team, no one really wants to be among 122,000 people and 300 programs today. People want an individualized, personalized learning experience. And I think that at each of our institutions, that's what we're doing. We know that creating that personalized learning experience in partnership with your expertise by serving on advisory boards, developing internship and apprenticeship programs. And for some of you that think we're a small business, we're not going to be able to drive an internship program, I will tell you, Carlos Guzman just left, but the 20 small banks in the area got together and said, you know what, I can do 2 interns. And together, we've now created an internship program for lending and retail, an apprenticeship program for our banks, because they came together and said, I can't take 20 apprentices, but I need 2. And so we've done that as well. And that's how you advance collective impact and drive the talent that we need in our community.
Well, first of all, I think the Chamber provides this kind of forum for the interaction. You know, for the University of Miami, we're about to turn 100. Actually, this coming Saturday, April the 8th.
You look good for 100.
Yes.
You look really good.
I hope to match it. This coming Saturday, it's our 98th birthday. In 2 more years, April 8th, we will turn 100. The university was founded only 19 years after the city of Miami was incorporated. It was always called the University of Miami. It was part of the project that gave birth to our city. It was part of the idea of what it took to create a modern 20th century city. And the visionaries that founded the city and the university knew that knowledge was absolutely critical to build a modern, progressive, industrious, prosperous community. So this is in our DNA. We're the opposite of an ivory tower institution. We are not just in Miami, we're of Miami. We were practically born together with the city. There are 3 ways in which research universities engage with the local community. The first one is what we've been talking about, providing the main pipeline for the most advanced components of the workforce, the leaders that are going to lead entire industries or companies. That's the number one. But we are not simply here in a supply-demand situation where employers tell us what they need and then we rapidly gear up and provide their needs. Especially research universities shape those needs. We provide the innovation, the basic research that underlies the innovation that then gets internalized in your companies as new companies, new sectors of the economy, new ways of organizing production or being more efficient. Every single innovation since World War II, everything, all your wearables, all your phones, everything we have, the televisions you watch, the cars you drive, everything started with basic research, and the vast majority of that research was carried out in a university. So the part of the dialogue is not just give us your needs and we will supply. We do that very well, and I think everyone has emphasized that. It's also we help shape those needs because of the direct impact that research that leads to technological innovation has on the nature of the private sector and the employment itself. We also try to anticipate, you know, you were mentioning ChatGPT, and you know, what is that going to imply? Well, we have people who we pay to think about that and to provide the elements to prepare for future trends. So that research component is very important. The third one is we actually, those of us who have an academic health system, we provide a service to the community, but more important, we ourselves, whether public or private, are businesses. We are complex organizations. University of Miami is the third largest employer in the county. We engage by having vendors from all kinds of companies, by purchasing. When the pandemic hit, one of the reasons I gave to keep the university open in a smart way, minimizing the risk, was the negative impact that that would have on the employment and the economy of the thousands, literally thousands of vendors that the university has. So we are part of the economy. We're not absent in the economy. We are a part. We provide employment, we buy and then provide services in addition to education. So I think those three ways of engaging, by providing the most advanced part of the workforce, by doing the research that leads to innovation, and then by being an active member of the economy, an economic agent in itself, are the three ways in which we engage and are indeed part of the business community of, in this case, of our great city and greater Miami.
Very well said, sir. Now, let me ask a question first of Dr. Behar and then Dr. Umariega. What impediments did the two of you, and anybody else can chime in, but we'll start with the two of you. What do you see to higher education, impediments that you face today that might be different from those of the past? There are always some impediments in the world, but what's different today and going forward than in the past? Dr. Behar, if you would.
So I think one of them is actually, and we're all experiencing it, is the resurgence from, emergence in a post-pandemic era. We learned a lot of innovative tools and resources with respect to living in during the pandemic times. Those impacts on education, those impacts on our relationships, some of them should be gains that we should retain. We learned to be more productive in a hybridized society and what that means for the employers, for the employees. We actually learned to deepen some teaching and learning through active learning and as opposed to passive receptive learning. And so we want to strengthen those opportunities. So I think the impediments are oftentimes how we retain some positives while actually then returning or ensuring that we don't keep some of our negative associations in a post-pandemic environment.
So I would say the landscape of higher education changes and stays at the same exact time. But I would say that the disruption coming to higher education came really in an accelerated way during the pandemic. You know, one could say that education was the sole source of distributing knowledge out. You'd come to a university, you come to a college, there's a professor, they're the sole source of knowledge. And they impart that knowledge and you then go on to work. But when you see now artificial intelligence, the way that ChatGPT, OpenAI, and the acceleration really democratizing knowledge, democratizing information. So I think in higher education, the future of work is playing out in our classrooms right now, which it's much more about the skills that we're going to need to have to be successful as a country and as a community. And some of those skills are applied skills, what you might learn in traditional classrooms. The other set of skills are those enterprise skills, which are equally as important. And you say that always: teamwork, design thinking, problem solving, critical thinking. But I think the third set of skills for higher education is how do you infuse digital skills? So when we did our AI training, artificial intelligence, we had 500 faculty members train in AI because we didn't want it to be a vertical and a major. We wanted to see it go across curriculum because there's a set of digital skills that every one of us have to have. And those include the AI skills, they include the cybersecurity skills. So I think the future of higher education is going to stay rapid on a path of innovation and acceleration. And I also think that we'll be flipping and continue to flip classrooms into what students, and really the big disruption, it's consumer-based disruptions. We spend a lot of time talking about policy disruptions, even those in happening in Tallahassee, but the truth is it's consumer disruption that really higher education is going to have to stay nimble and rapid to be able to meet the needs of a knowledge economy that's just going to continue to grow, and a real global economy as well.
Alfred and Roberto, do we have time for some questions? Okay, who in the audience, feel free. Step forward and make your questions known to the panel. Yes.
As a philosophy major, I have to ask, what is the value? We're talking to business people, we're also civic leaders. We're talking here about how to produce people for businesses. What is the value of a liberal arts education, and where does that sit in our discussion here today?
Yes, I would love to talk about that. So liberal arts education, obviously with that word, that it's caused some consternation in media and politics. And it's not about politics. Liberal arts is about free thinking. And I started a program at Thomas More where I was president and brought it here as the first of its kind in the country, called Ethical Leadership. And the foundation of that program, as I saw less and less people taking the liberal arts as majors, theology, philosophy, ethics, English, history, art, that was a problem. And everyone was taking business and engineering. But the bottom line is we need more leaders, right? And not just leaders, we need more ethical leaders. So we started a program that has 5 pillars. The basis of that, the foundation, is philosophy, theology, and ethics. Then the liberal arts, being able to read well, write well, communicate effectively, English, math, history. And then it has a core business function, because if you can't be a great leader unless you know where the money is. And then the fourth part is we go out to the industries and out to the businesses and out to the corporations and find out, what do you want us to teach your future ethical leaders? And then the last component is experiential learning. I would argue that our fascination or infatuation with going away from the liberal arts is really hurting us as a country and as an educational system. We still need to be able to think well, write well, because technology, as someone said it earlier today, is changing so rapidly. We try to learn the technology, then we have technology. But if you can think well, and think analytically, and think critically, and being able to go cross-discipline, then we'll have an advantage moving forward.
Hi. Hello, Karen with the Education Fund. We support all of Miami-Dade County Public Schools, and we bring students to all of your colleges for field trips on a regular basis. So thank you very much. To everybody in the room, we also do internships, and we have interns available. My question to the panel and to everybody in the room is about first generation. So we have students in Miami-Dade that their parents did not go to college. The FAFSA terrifies them. And I'm asking the community, the chamber, everybody, that we come together to anybody you know that is first generation parent, to have them understand that the FAFSA is separate than the IRS. It's a separate institution, and that it is safe to fill it out because so much money gets left on the table. Could you speak as a panel as to how we can continue to help these first generation students succeed and get into, do the FAFSA, apply to college, and finish college? Thank you.
Yeah, so I mean, there's good news on the FAFSA front. I think that they're not going to be asking students anymore if they have a farm. You know, if you've any one of you've been through it, it's intimidating, but it's being reduced. It's going to be down to about 15 questions, you know, versus I think over 200 in its initial time. But really, it's about getting into the high schools. I see our partners at MDCPS, and we go in there with the students. We take hotspots in there, and we're working with the students and the parents, starting their FAFSA application and completing it. You know, a great opportunity to do that, and we do it. I know most of our colleges and universities is tax preparation. So if our accounting student majors are helping with tax prep, then that's a good opportunity to be able to say, right here, you can do your FAFSA. And through Single Stop, which is a national company, national partnership that we have, we match students, especially first-gen students, to additional federal resources. So the, you know, FAFSA stands for the Free Financial Aid Application. It's the way that the federal government distributes Pell. And I would say to you, I know President Allen mentioned certainly the study that every one of us read in the last 24 hours about 56% of individuals thinking that there may not be a value in higher education. And I would say this about Florida. And when you read those articles, you should push back, because Florida hasn't raised public tuition and fees in 10 years. Of the 122,000 students Miami-Dade educates, less than 2% take any debt, and if they do, it's less than 5,000. That's true for many of our institutions, and I think that when we feed the narrative that you have to get into six-figure debt in order to have a college education in Florida, that's not true. And by the way, we're #1 in higher education because we have the best K-12 education system that comes into the community college system, into the university system, both public and private. So I would just say that too. That's important for us to be that voice, to continue to increase the number of first-generation students that come to college, because that is how really the transfer of wealth and knowledge, and you want to really create paths to prosperity, is get that first family member to earn that college degree, not just because of the knowledge that they learn, but because of the economic capital, the social capital, and the cultural capital that that experience gives you and gives your family for generations to come.
Good afternoon. Would each one of you please give no more than a 60-second pitch to your younger self to convince them to go to the college or university you represent?
We like to party at Barry.
Could you?
It's a wonderful institution. I would go there over and over again. I mean that.
So I'm sorry, but can you please repeat the question? Oh, okay, gotcha. So for me, it's simply because I know that when I attend Florida Memorial, I'm going to get a high touch. I'm going to get an experience that makes me feel like I am at home and people are truly invested in my future.
My parents took great painstakingly effort to send 7 kids through Catholic grade school, Catholic high school, 4 of us through Catholic college. 2 of us have earned advanced degrees and are now working in education. They taught us that education was the great equalizer, and all through that effort, they voted for every levy for the public schools, 2. because they knew that education was important. And so I attended values-based schools. I believe in them. I'm a product of a university that is exactly like St. Thomas University, and I believe it's the best education. Statistics would prove me out, and that's why I serve at institutions like this, because we need to make these institutions not only survive, but thrive.
So I am MDC. I did go to Miami-Dade College and play on a basketball scholarship there. So I would say to you that talent is universal. Opportunity changes everything.
I mean, I do want to echo what Madeline said in addressing your question. I would definitely go to the University of Miami all my life.
It's because they have good basketball.
Yes, now we do, now we do. But, you know, we need to keep emphasizing the value of universities to societies. It's in addition to the employment, and every study shows still that people with a college or university degree will have increased lifetime earnings several times over. Now, we do need to tackle and acknowledge the rising cost. Not every state has been as enlightened as Florida, and we need to make education more affordable, and we need to increase scholarships so that that avenue of opportunity is open to everyone. We also need to deal, and that echoes the question on the first generation, the actual tragedy in the United States is that there are hundreds of thousands of highly talented students who would be admitted to the top universities in the world, in the United States, and simply do not apply. Because they think they're not going to be admitted, or they think they're not going to be able to afford it. And there's a waste of human capital and individual opportunity that actually, I think that is the tragedy. It's not that we have too many universities or too much of higher education, is we have too little. There's hundreds of thousands of young people, especially first generation, especially disadvantaged kids, who have the talent to thrive in a university setting and simply don't have the channels to access that or the knowledge about the opportunities. And we have joined something called the American Talent Initiative, which is a commitment from 130 comprehensive research universities to proactively recruit those kinds of students. It's still the most legitimate avenue for upward social mobility, getting a college degree. And it is in this hyper-dynamic labor market, it's exactly what you said. It's not just the teaching of a specific specialty, that is important, but it's also the set of intellectual competencies and ethical guidelines and skills of communication and interaction and values of being a constructive member of your community. All of that is what you acquire. We do sports because it's a community building exercise, and that's a big part of education. We're not just producing automated workers for the workforce. We're doing much more. We produce citizens, we produce leaders. And that is the real function and the real value that we add.
So one of my graduate degrees as an educator is from FIU, so I am walking the walk. And I would say to my younger self, the commitment to being a public research university, the commitment that the university has across the majority of its disciplines in addressing the society's most pressing problems is part of our commitment as being a public research university.
I'm going to give my real answer, if that's okay. Very briefly, Alfred, I promise. At Barry, we pride ourselves that we will train you, we will work with you to do well, but you also will go out and do good in your communities. And we see that time and time again with our graduates, and I can't think of a time in my lifetime where that's been more important. So we're very proud of what we do, and I absolutely would attend. Great question.
Let's thank our panelists. I think they're terrific. They've given us a good education and a basic education today. We should go deeper with them, and the Chamber will. Alfred has made that very clear. Thank them very much. Terrific.
Up here or down there? All together, right where you are. Just line up. Just, oh, you can. Yeah, we have a video. You're not gonna. Okay, we'll block that. No, then. Aquí mismo, con la silla. A un ladito ahí.
They say, oh my God, I see the way you shine. Take your hand, my dear, and place them both in mine. You know you stopped me dead while I was passing by. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time. Ooh, I see you every time. And oh my, I like your style. You make me wanna cry. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time. So they say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh, oh. I never seen anybody do the things you do before. They say, move for me, move for me, move for me, eh, eh. And when you're done, I'll make you do it all again. I said, oh my God, I see you walking by. Take my hands, my dear, and look me in my eyes.
Colonel, my colonel.
Ooh, I see you every time. And oh my, I like your style. You make me wanna cry. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time. So they say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh, oh. I never seen anybody do the things you do before. They say, move for me, move for me, move for me, eh.